Guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here, wrapping up my night. It is actually 2 a.m. August 4th, which is Friday, but this is my my Thursday video that I'm wrapping up. And honestly, guys, it was a good night. They've made a couple minor changes to the Uber platform for drivers, and I knew about it because we talked about it at the meeting briefly the other day at the Uber office, but it wasn't part of their official rollout. It was just something that they were considering doing, and apparently they did it, because now when the ride comes up and you have, you know, whatever it is, 15-30 seconds to click accept or no thanks, in addition to giving you the customer's rating, it gives you an optional bit of information appears. A long ride tag appears, and a message underneath that says this ride could be more than 45 minutes long, if it's a long ride. Now, if it's not, it just looks like it did before, and you click accept or not. But this long ride feature comes in real handy, because it's a great kind of signifier or warning marker that you're about to accept a ride that's long distance. So how did I know about this or find this? Is one of my rides from yesterday was a long ride, and of course yesterday I had 3 really good rides from the airport. I spent most of my day at the airport. And that's becoming a fruitful endeavor for the time being. You know, it's definitely not something that I'm going to live there like a lot of those guys do. But, you know, starting my day in the city, setting destination for BWI, and kind of meandering my way down there, tends to be profitable, because I got to the airport last night and I had, a DC, an Arlington, and a Towson. So, 3 really good significant distance rides. I finished the night just under $200. And now tonight, I got a couple rides in the city early on, very, very small, $10, $15. But then I got down to the airport. I didn't get anything on my destination mode to BWI, but it took me a weird route because of where my last ride ended. So it took me down like through Wilkins Avenue, and that's probably why it didn't take me back through the city where the airports and stuff were. So that being said, I finally got to the airport because of these torrential storms we had again, and my first ride out was a long ride tag, and it was a ride all the way to Dulles, the hotel right near Dulles Airport. So I take a trip out there, good $70 fare. Then I go to Dulles Airport because it's right around the corner, and I get a ride from there all the way up to Bethesda, which was like a $30 fare. It was a pretty good distance. So then I put my destination mode on again for BWI, and didn't really get anything out of it. That didn't really pan out. But I made my way back to BWI, and my very next ride from BWI was another long ride. A guy going all the way down to, where did he go? To Frederick. And, so basically 3 customers, like 4 or 5 customers in total, but a couple little ones in the city, the one from the airport to Dulles, the one from Dulles to Bethesda, and the one from BWI to Frederick, and I'm at $150 for the night. So, and I feel pretty good about that for a Thursday night. I'm well ahead of where I need to be at this point for the week. I'm at, over $600 already for the week, and I still have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, it's going to be a good week. I'm going to lose a little bit of business tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be starting a little bit later. I don't know why sometimes this mountain vibrates so much. It's the roads. But Going to be starting a little bit late tomorrow night. My daughter's got a dance thing that I'm going to that will not get out until about almost 8 o'clock. So I don't know really officially what time I'm going to be on the road. We will wait and see on that. And then I have a funeral I have to go to on Saturday, a memorial service. So I don't know at what point I'll be starting my day. So I think it's a 1 o'clock memorial. So, you know, gonna be an interesting weekend. I'm gonna be a little bit disjointed, and my start is gonna be a little bit weird the next couple nights. But you know, the airport has been fruitful. I think this long trip tag is a good one, because if you know you're accepting a ride that's long, you know, you can prepare yourself mentally. And I think if you know you're not accepting a ride that's long, then you can start thinking about plan B. And, you know, that's my smart decision is if the airport doesn't work out one night, you got to have a plan B. You know, I was talking to somebody about this tonight. You've got to know, okay, if the airport's sucking and I'm not getting any good rides, I'm obviously not going to stay there. I'm going to bug out and go somewhere else. And somewhere else could be DC, could be Bethesda, could be Baltimore, you know, could be Towson. Towson's been kind of perking up a little bit lately. You know, so there's business to be had outside of the airport. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to commit to just one location. I think that's dangerous, you know, and I think, you know, my time watching The Deadliest Catch, ironically as it seems, has taught me one thing, is that, you know, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to be willing to move around, and you got to be willing to switch things up from time to time, because sometimes it's just not going to work out, and it's going to be luck. You know, and that's a lesson learned, because I've had good nights at the airport. I've had really bad nights at the airport, and you know, the way to be, oh, excuse me, the way to be consistent is to be able to switch it up on the fly and say, okay, airport's not doing good. I've gotten, you know, bad mojo. I've just got to bug out. I've got to go somewhere else real quick. So that's kind of the lesson of the night, guys. But just an important safety tip. When your Uber app pops up, you will see something different on the screen. It will say long trip in like a gray box. And then at the bottom, it will say this ride could be up to 45 minutes long. And so if you see that, you know, that's a cash cow. That tells you that it's going to be probably a $50 fare minimum, and it's going to be a really good ride. You know, doesn't matter what direction you're going in, it's going to be a good ride. If you don't see that, and you're, you know, especially if you're at the airport, you know, then that's when you get a frowny face and you go, okay, I got to be prepared for maybe a bad night at the airport. You know, maybe bad luck tonight. So just know that that is real, guys. It's happened to me tonight and happened to me last night, so it's definitely a thing. There's a lot of talk about Quest and or Boost with Uber right now. A lot of people that have been online for, you know, 90 days plus are starting to get Quest trips. You know, the Quest challenges where you have to do so many rides to get so much extra money. I still do not get Quests. I am getting, you know, I do get the you know, rush hour boost. But honestly, guys, that's not an enticer for me. 1.1 is not an enticer. You know, and I was thinking about that this evening when the rain started and I was basically on Wilkins Ave. So I could have either turned left and headed back into Baltimore to get rush hour traffic, 1.1 boost, and probably some surge. You know, there's always surge when it rains in the city at rush hour. But here's the deal. You know, how many rides do you really get out of rush hour? You might get 2, because it's going to take you forever to get from one side of the city to the other side. And city driving in a torrential downpour is a nightmare. It's very stressful because you can't see the lines, can't see the lanes. Everybody's driving like an idiot. You know, and on top of that, a normally $8 fare at 2-point surge, guess what, guys? $16 for what could be 45 minutes in rush hour. So, you know, to me, that's not an enticer. I'm not going to lie, guys. Boost of 1.4, you know, late at night, a 1.4, that's great. Because, you know, that's 40 cents extra per mile is basically the way I look at that. That's something I can work with, especially if there's nothing going on at the airport or if I'm having bad luck down there. But 1.1 is a joke. And if you're an Uber person, you know, a corporate Uber person, and you're trying to glean information, you know, that's a horrible marketing scheme. It's not something that's going to draw drivers to the city. If anything, it's something that's going to say, ha, my time is better spent elsewhere. Tonight I drove 5 customers for $150 in fare and then tips on top of that. You know, why would I want to do $3 fares at 1.1? It's a 10 cents extra per mile when I can do, you know, a much better average fare. You know, 5 customers or 6 customers at $150 is about a $15 to $18 per ride average. I'll take that. So, you know, just know that, you know, that's how this game is won, guys. It's not your average per hour. It's not your number of trips. It's not your total number of miles. It's literally how much money did you make at the end of your shift. Now, you know, this is a business where you have to grind and put in the hours. No joke. Part-timers, full-timers, you have to make what you can in a certain amount of time. You know, if I can get through half my night and get to $100, you know, then I know that I can basically double my money on a busy night. If I'd stayed out and it's only 2:30 and I'm already almost home, but if I'd stayed out till 3, 4 a.m., I could have easily made $200 tonight, made that other $50 and gotten to 200. As it is, I've got stuff I got to do tomorrow. So I've got to be up a little bit earlier than normal. I know I'm going to cut my sleep cycle short. It's going to be a crazy couple days. I've got to be awake and aware and alert, you know, because I'm going to see my daughter dance, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want her to think I'm not paying attention. So, you know, again, you gotta gauge your personal life and your family life and your work life and balance it all. But you got to have measurable milestones. You got to know what. This is a long video. I apologize, but you know, it's kind of an important math discussion. Is, you know, how do you know if you're making money? How do you know if you're having a good night or a bad night? These are easy things. Set a goal. I talk about this all the time with people. I talk about it with people that are not Uber drivers, that are passengers, that are nosy and asking questions. And I talk about it when I'm at the airport with the circle of people I communicate with down there. Set goals. Reasonable. You know, what is that? SMART goals. Sustainable, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I think I got that acronym right. A couple of those can be switched out to other things. But, you know, SMART goals are goals that you can achieve, goals that are measurable, and goals that have a timestamp on them. $200 per night, $1,000 per week, $4,000 per month. You know, $50 in the first 2.5 hours, 3 hours. You know, however you want to bite it out, so that you know at some point you can look at the clock and say, well, where am I compared to where I'm supposed to be, pace-wise? And if dollars are what pays your bills, dollars are really what matters. You know, do I care about my ratings? Very much so. I talk about 5-star ratings. I talk about my acceptance rate, my cancellation rate. You know, that stuff all matters to me because it puts me in either non-preferred status or, you know, it makes me, you know, it disqualifies me for things if my cancellation or acceptance rates become crazy. You know, if my rating drops below 4.9 now, I'm going to be disappointed. The goal is to go up, not down. You know, eventually I'm going to get to a 4.99. You know, but I got to get to 4.91 first, and I got to get to 4.92 after that, and it's a slow climb when you're driving. Well, my video paused there for some weird reason, so I think one of my apps was updating on the Google page, and it loaded when it updated. So I have no idea what the hell it was doing. But you got to have goals, guys. They've got to be measurable. You got to know what you need to make a living or to make extra cash. Whatever your milestones are, figure them out. Sit down and do the math, guys. You know, you got to budget in how much you're spending a week in gas, how much you're spending on insurance. You know, you want to be able to make a profit in this endeavor. And if you're spending $100 a week in fuel, then that $100 is coming out of your $1,000 a week goal. And if that's okay, then that's okay. If you need to really make $1,000, then you need to actually make $1,100 to compensate you for your gas. You know, just do the math. Sit down and write a budget. If you need help with that, you know, I would be happy to help you. You know, reach out to me and let me know what your numbers are, and you know, send me a private message or text me or whatever. Get in touch with me somehow. You know, on my Facebook page, send me a PM, whatever you want to do. My cell phone has been in a couple of the videos. It's 443-398-1772. Send me a text. I usually don't answer numbers that are not already in my caller ID, unless I'm on an Uber ride and I know it's going to be a strange number. But, you know, send me a text. Hey, Mike, I've seen your videos. My name is, you know, Jim or Susie, whatever. You know, would love to talk to you a little bit more about X, Y, and Z. And I will gladly make the time to help you. You know, that's what this is all about. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I know this video is already going to be a long one. And I'm sorry that it got kind of cut in the middle there. It was really weird. But, you know, Android does weird stuff sometimes. So have a great night, everybody. I will be back on the road tomorrow evening sometime. And, you know, wish me luck. Thank you, guys.